variety of expenses like phone bill and internet, business meetings, meals, and so on. Country and LLC makes your business look super professional.
All right, peace and Black Power family. We are here. We're going to get started right now. I got Brother Polight and I got Minister Jap, and we're going to discuss, is the black woman God? Brother Polight is coming in saying that the black woman is not only his God, but money is his religion. And Minister Jap is like, hold on, brother. The black woman is God. I'm here to dispute that. I'm here to dispute all facts. So, Brother Minister Jap, do you want Brother Polight to lay down his claim first, or you go in first? Talk to me.
I mean, it's fine. I can speak on it.
All right.
Yeah, we have to discuss, first and foremost, we have to lay down the premise on what we saying when we're saying God. Are we saying God in a literal sense? Or are we saying it in using it as an analogy or something that can, uplift these women or something to that degree? Is it just a compliment, or we mean it's very literal that this woman is God? Because if she is God, she's got a whole lot of explaining to do. I've seen a lot of the reasons why a lot of people have said this based on, the Egyptian stuff and all that, the different gods and all of that. And, but present day, because none of this information is really coming from a woman. It's all coming from a man. And if she's God, and me, I would believe God to be all-knowing, and be responsible for its people. And if I'm to worship this woman, then she is responsible for a lot of the problems of our community.
Hold on, Minister Jap, Polight, did you hear any of what he was saying? Because you went out again.
I heard every single word he said.
Okay, all right, bro. Go ahead, Brother Jap.
Yeah, because I would hold her responsible for everything that those who critique your so-called organized religions, whether it be Islam or Catholicism or Christianity, the way that those gods and those prophets and those stories were being critiqued, and the whole, well, is Jesus coming back to save us and all of that type of thing. And that's a very, very fair argument. But now we got a walking, talking, living, breathing God that I can so-called look at. And I have someone here in the flesh to actually hold responsible. Now, again, I'm not sure what are we doing when we're saying that she's God. Is this just figuratively being used, or are we literally saying that this is the all-knowing, the creator of the world, the galaxy, the mountains, every animal, all came through the vagina of this black woman? And if so, I got tons of questions and things I need to hold her accountable to, because now
where's the volume at?
Yo, you just went silent, Jap, just now. Your silent just went dead just now.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, you good.
I accidentally hit the mic. So now she's got some explaining to do for all of the atrocities and the situations that the black community is in, because she's taking on the title of God. So are we figuratively using this word, or are we saying she is the creator of the heavens, the earth, the mountains, the water, everything, the ecosystem, everything came out of the black woman, her womb, her mind, or whatever? Are we just saying this shit, or do we mean this shit? That's my stance on it.
All right, go ahead, Brother Polight.
So it's very important I preface my statement with what common custom is and what is exactly meant by religion. And of course, to address this God concept, I think if you have heard for me to take the Christianity version or representation of the word God. I think it'd be absurd if I put the Muslim representation of the word God. In fact, for the same reason, the way I married my wife, it had to be under such auspice that would contradict the same or the aforementioned, because I'm not under any of those umbrellas. But then there is the word God in general. So as far as her being the one that created the sun, moon, and the stars, I would say the very thing that exists within the confines of the universe exists in both the male and the female, but I'm not coming from a Christianity or Judeo-Christian Islamic subscription. But I am going to use the colloquial meaning of the word God, which is one who's in control of a specific aspect of creation. And we find more times than often, Merriam-Webster's dictionary, we find more times than often that women are in control of specific aspects of creation that men are not in control of. And therefore, I will render her God. We can also get another dictionary definition from the Macintosh application. Not making this too deep. We can find that a God can be rendered a superhuman being or a spirit worshipped as having power over nature or human fortune. And I know from the time I was within the confines of my mama's womb, she had power and control over my human fortune, as she had power and control over your human fortune. And I render her superhuman just in light of the fact that she gives birth in the gestation process that takes place within her. And we'll go further, okay? A God is also one that is adored, admired, or influential person. These are dictionary definitions. These are colloquial meanings and renderings that have no immediate association to any of the religious themes that you were discussing. So when I render the black woman God, I render her the God of our community, the God of our race, because she does have a certain control over our human fortune, which is why I would believe you also have a lot of questions for her, and why you may say you put the onus on her to respond to certain adversity or certain questions you have, because that is a part of the conviction that you and I both share. She does have to answer to many things, because by dictionary definition and reference, she has power over nature or human fortunes as it relates to human beings, particularly us, the black man, the black child, her offspring. Okay, so when I'm talking about God, I'm coming from a colloquial meaning, all right, that she is someone to be adored, she is someone to be admired, and she is extremely influential. Because I know a man wants to get a dope car, a very nice car, so she can ride in it. I know that when those club lines extend from one side of the street to the next, that the men have to pay and the women are free, because she has a certain level of influence. I know that the main reason the brother is out here portraying themselves as gangsters is because she has created or invited the idea that that's what she wants. And the men will make themselves in the image and after the likeness of the very women whose attention they want. So I know we're buying clothes, we're buying jewelry, we're buying cars, we're paying for clubs. We're doing everything we think she conceives of having as a man, significant other, or counterpart. So it is in alignment with the very meaning of the word God. As she is one to be adored, she is one that's admired, or an influential person. I see her as superhuman because of what she owns exclusively as far as the birthing process is concerned. And even post-birth, she owns certain elements or aspects of the post-birth process that is exclusive to her. Does this mean I'm belittling the man? No. Does this mean I'm undermining who and what the man is to the black community? No.
All right, save some of it for when you come back. But I want to ask you, I want to pose this question to you, Brother Polight, before Jap come back on. Is this some form or some type of psychology? Remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he came out and said the white man is the devil and the black man is God. He didn't really believe in the devil up under the ground or nothing like that. It was a psychological effect so that the black man could begin to stand upright, to stand up. And, you know, because there was so much casting down on the black man and woman, so he used a psychological effect to say, well, you know what? The white man is the devil and the black man is God, because they was looking at us as devils. So he turned this shit around. I mean, excuse my language, minister. Let's try to relax on the language as we go, so we don't have to get this joint blocked.
I need to get loose. I need to come.
Yeah, get loose, but let's try to hold off on the language so we can give the people a chance to see it. I gotta catch myself. I just caught myself. So, is this some form of psychological warfare that you're putting on the woman as well, Polight, to make them stand up and take a good look at who you are as a woman?
Well, I'll tell you this, and this is why I said now I have to get into the religious aspect of what I'm talking about, right? And what common customs are. So we understand that common, as I teach it from the cognitive perspective, common customs is the cognitive system that precipitates culture by process of differentiation and integration to be able to find the value of smaller things and factorial for those equivalents, thus granting us the least adverse effect from the decisions that we make. What does this mean? Common custom is a calculative system that precipitates culture. Now, what I want everyone to do while I'm talking is to realize this. I shift gears. I don't want to hear no about Polight's using words that people don't understand, because I also gave you the colloquial meaning of the word God as well. I'm speaking to every audience, because I'm not going to presume every member of your audience is not a reading part of the audience. So I'm speaking to everybody. So allow me to shift gears. Common customs is a calculative system that precipitates culture. All right? And what we find out is, right, but when we deal with the factorial to small things, in the equivalence of today, we're able to come up with the least adverse effect from the decisions that we make. That's what culture does. Which means from one generation to the next, our forefathers, foremothers, our predecessors, see what works, what doesn't work, what things work together in combination, and what things don't work separate by themselves. And they come up with a system of worship or practice that we facilitate on a day-to-day basis that becomes a subconscious mind of our people, which protects us from the decisions that we would have made had we not have the culture instilled from one generation to the next. This is how it goes down. This is what keeps the dollar circulating in other communities. This is what keeps the self-love that's evident in other communities, because their forefathers and foremothers have implemented stratagems that were employed so much so that it becomes second nature to the generations to come, second nature to their posterity. So in doing so, yes, I would not call it warfare. I would call it common custom. And so I identify woman as my God, and therefore I must render religion in the form of money. Money is my religion. And when I look up the word religion, okay, here's a dictionary reference for my Macintosh application. It's a particular system of faith and worship. And by faith, we mean what? Complete trust or confidence in someone or something. I have the utmost confidence and trust in the black woman when the conditions are conducive to us functioning.
Time. Okay? Thank you. You'll come back, Brother Polight.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Religion is also a pursuit or interest to which someone ascribes supreme importance. So, I ascribe supreme importance to the black woman. Every religion has the God part. So, the God of my religion, being money, is the woman, because we see we are lacking in the ability to provide. We see we're lacking in resources. And this has been the very thing that's been used to cripple us as a community. All right? I got more to go on, but we'll leave it at that.
All right. Brother Jap, I'm going to ask you this question, and you could go on and drop your knowledge. And I'm going to ask you, Brother Jap, is it hard for you to accept the term the black woman is God because maybe you might see her sliding down a pole, or you might see her twerking, or you might see her in the club and she's getting it in. So could that be some of the reason why you said, well, you know what, I'm not taking this God shit, like this God stuff too loosely. I'm looking at this black woman. I see what the hell she's doing. Go ahead, bro.
And I'm glad we're having this discussion, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad I'm having it with a person like Polight. Because I know Polight is from these streets. He touched the pavement. He ain't like a lot of these uppity people that you probably gonna keep bringing around me and shit like that. Who don't 2 minutes me. You know, 2 minutes.
No, you got more than 2 minutes. I'm just setting it up. Nah, you got more than that.
Wait to get a Martin Luther King speech. I gotta see it. All right, so you know what I'm saying? I know Polight really touched the field. He touched the streets. We kind of got similar backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? So we can tackle this from a realistic aspect. Yes, I would have a problem with you calling these women God, because the women that I see in Chicago or Atlanta, the black women, I'll make it specific, are the worst representation of what God is and what God could be. And I understand that there were texts and things that people have caught in the Egyptology game and things of that nature, these different scholars and stuff like that. And I think that they may have grabbed that, found the fact that it's profitable, because we know how gullible today's black woman is, because first and foremost, she's the biggest consumer. She's the easiest to sway anyway. And most of your people, like online, whether it's social media, whether it's a preacher, and whether, you know, in the conscious community, preachers are called scholars. So you would have most of their fan base be women with their jaws dropped. Got to call these women who need guidance and instruction, who are the worst decision makers that I've ever seen. I see this physically. It's not something that I don't have high hopes for them. I know what they are right now and where they are. So that's why I go in on the bullshit that they do. I'm dealing with a practical point of view. They are not God. Why would I disrespect the title in God by diminishing them to just being a black woman? And when I look at a black woman, she doesn't have any power. She's destroying everything in her path. She's destroying her own family. And I'm to call her God. That is very disrespectful. That doesn't even speak highly of God, to call God a black woman. Black woman is in the worst condition, period, in this country and in multiple countries. She is not a decision maker. She has no power. And another thing, what do you say? The title of God. I understand what we're doing. And that's why when I asked first, are we saying she's God, literally define God? And the way life is looking at God and the way that I look at God, there'll be two different ways. I could call anything my God if I diminish it. So you diminish God to just being a woman and don't put big responsibilities and big abilities. Responsibilities and abilities on the title God. So if I say I don't view God how a religious person would view God, then I could call anything a God. I could call my rock flower a God. I could call a tree a God. I could call anything a God. I could call the sun to God. Why? Because we're all under it. I could call anything a God if I diminish what God's role would traditionally be, which will be the creator of everything, the all-knowing. And I don't see, so it would almost be, the debate really is on how he sees God and how I see God, because at the end of the day, I see God as the all-knowing, and you see God as something that you have to influence to let her know that she is God. You know what I'm saying? And then you said one thing about God being the most adorned, admired, and influential force on this planet. And if I was to have that same thought process of what God was, then I would have to hand the God title to the white woman. Because the white woman is the most influential, adored, and admired creature gracing the planet. And what proves that is all of our women are emulating everything of the white woman and is not validated unless the white woman approves of it. White women educate our kids. White women pretty much set the standard of what beauty is in America. And I know that's not right. I don't like it to be so. But if we want to talk about reality and what is so, and in a way that you're using God, admire, adorn, and influential, Kim Kardashian would be the black woman's God, as opposed to Michelle Obama. So that's where I come at with, like, the way we're using it is going to be two totally different ways. You're not expecting much from your God. You're expecting your God to only do what she's in the realm to do. And I would say, okay, then the black woman is the God of creating babies. The black woman is the God of ratchetness. Because that's the realm that she dwells in and she excels in. Other realms, she's mediocre. So when we're looking at it in that sense, and if she's God, and you're able to educate her, you're greater than your God. And I know for a fact that most of these brothers in the conscious community are the educators of these women. They don't have nothing to say. They have no knowledge. All the knowledge that they have comes from us as men. So with that being said, hate to sound like a pharaoh, but she is an influence. And she is only as good as what a man puts into her. There's nothing deep coming from these women. I don't see droves of men following from the leadership of just one woman that I could name. Sarah Ali is a great woman. She speaks good, and men follow her because her words are the words of Elijah Muhammad. She's only as good as what we've imputed in her from a man's point of view. So she cannot be my God when she's looking to me for information. You know what I'm saying? So I can never call a woman God, and I would never have a woman governing me. And if you don't look at God as governing you and you submitting to God, then we would look at the whole construct totally different. The way you see God is, okay, yeah, I could be God of 51st and Cottage Road. Why? Because I control everything over here by that small definition of what you said God can do. You know what I'm saying? But if you were to look at it in the sense of the way, when you say God, then it raises eyebrows because people are thinking, oh, this is finally what we've been looking for as a people. We've been looking for our Savior. You telling me my Lord and Savior is today's black woman? Fam, I gotta speak up. No way. Because Floyd Mayweather got a house full of gods.
10 minutes, brother. No, go ahead. Go. You got 10 minutes.
We got Floyd Mayweather got a house full of gods. And these brides are stripping and spinning on poles, getting money thrown on them. And they are my Lord and Savior. This is supposed to what's going to save the black community. It never will.
All right. Both of y'all have 8 minutes going on. So, oh man, I want to give a shout out to the Floyd Mayweather in the building. Floyd Mayweather of Consciousness, brother Jabari in the building. I see you, beloved. And brother Polight, it's on you, brother. I'm gonna start your time.
All right. I ain't gonna front.
Hey, first of all, do y'all both see the time up there? So y'all can see it up there. Don't say, oh man, how much time you got? It's right there in front of both of y'all where y'all can see it.
I
You
see
got the floor, Brother Polight.
I see 000 up there.
Yeah, you ain't start yet. That's why. As soon as you start, the clock will start.
All right, let me. I'm gonna go back to the meaning of the word God, right? So this is not this place. So what we like to do, we like to go to fairy tales when it comes.
Let me know when you want me to start. Start the time.
Start the time. We like to go to fairy tales when it comes to real talk. We talking about real people and real events. And my man is talking about some space cadet stuff. I ain't got no time for that. I'm talking about a real race of people with real issues that need to be addressed by the people that really are involved. So miss me with the who made the sun, the moon, the stars, and the entity that you got to submit yourself to. My man, you had to submit yourself to your mother for the time you was in her womb. You were subject to her stress. You were subject to her concerns. You were subject to her nutrition. You cannot evade that. You had no say in that. Where does a man get his cognitive abilities from? Because you say she only knows what we impute into her, right? So chromosome number 9, through the science, chromosome number 9 deals with our cognitive ability. And who is responsible for giving us our cognitive ability? Our ability to think, reconcile, discern, decision making comes from the woman. It doesn't come from the daddy. It comes from the mommy. This is scientific fact, not the spooky stuff. Science tells us we get our ability to make rationale from our mothers. So no matter how much books the man reads after to teach his mother or his daughter or his wife or his sister, the reason you're able to do it in the first place was endowed upon you by way of your mother. See, I'm going to deal with you with facts. Where did you get your boost in your immunity, your boost in your intelligence, your boost in your digestion? From your mother's colostrum fluid, a yellow liquidy fluid that's secreted from her tooth when you had to suck from her nipples. Okay? The father cannot increase your immunity, increase your intelligence, increase your digestion when you're first born into this world. Only the woman can do that because your father has nipples that are rudimentary. What does this mean? Your father has parts of his body that are made specifically for women that he can never use because it's called rudimentary in science. You have parts of your body as a man that you can't use that she can use. And in fact, the X chromosome is 2.8% more genetic material than the man's Y chromosome. It's an absolute fact. And I'm not saying that the man is a degenerate. I'm just saying that the woman's brain is more symmetrical than a male's. This is an absolute fact. You say she has no power. And in the same sentence, where she has no power, she has the power to destroy the family. You said she destroys the black family, but she has no power. Hey, hold on. That was interesting. I look up the word destroy to make sure I'm not making a mistake, because for a woman that has no power, it says to destroy is to put an end to the existence of something by damaging or attacking. So it's very interesting in one statement, the black woman has no power, and in another statement, she's being accredited for destroying our damn community. This makes no sense.
There's more than one definition.
Hold on, Jack. You gotta let him go. It's time. Hold up, Jack. You gotta hold on. It's his time.
Definition of power.
He's a hitting
There's more than one definition of
Oh,
power.
Jack, you can't do that, brother. You gotta let him go. You gotta let him speak. Jack, he didn't speak on your time. You're gonna be able to clear that up, brother. You're gonna clear it up. This is what debating is. You're gonna get to it. Go ahead, brother Polight.
He ain't gonna clean it up. It's only gonna get worse from here. I don't know why these young boys, these young men think they can fuck with me. I'm telling you. They can't fuck with me.
Oh shit, Jack. You're blaming me, Jack.
No, hold on.
All right, let Polight finish because his time is running. It's Polight time. Go ahead, Polight.
He's trying to filibuster. It's all right. Let me finish this work. So, I don't have to tell her she's God for her to have that which is already innate. Okay? Let me get that straight. He said, I got to tell her she's God. I don't got to tell a person who has the capabilities, okay, other than the fact, maybe we can make them aware of what they've done historically, but whether I tell a person that they're God or not doesn't take away their ability to do that's what an ignorant brother or sister would say, particularly brothers, when they're jealous of other women and their capabilities and opportunities. Because you know what we say in science? We just say the black woman is extremely fertile. That's it. It's called fertility. We done turned it into, these are making a bunch of babies. Like, making babies is a bad thing. We've always been condemned and castigated for our ability to procreate ourselves. That comes from your white supremacist mentality. The negative connotation you use towards our women's ability to procreate far above and beyond other people, that disdain for her ability to recreate or procreate, which is the highest evidence or the closest thing that we can conceptualize to be divine on planet Earth. The fact that you are angered by it or speak about it with such an undertone means you've been educated by your oppressor. And you hold those things very tight. Because we got to stop making that a bad thing, that we are able to procreate. We going to shun her for her ability to procreate. That's kind of crazy to me. But we going to move forward. Okay, we're going to move forward. You said that they want, our sisters want to look like them. So basically, the influence is, and we should render the Kardashians God. So you may not be aware that white women perm their hair. And when they perm their hair, they beseech the wrinkles or the curls. You may not be aware that white women have been putting injections in their lips to look like us. You may not be aware that white women have been injecting DSM or black synthetic matter into their skin so they can have a darker hue. You may not be aware that these white women also want to have different butts that come from our sisters. You may not be aware of these things. So I want to show you she is at the top of the hierarchy when it comes to who's influencing the rest of the world. Because all these men, you may not be aware that when a white man wants a black woman, he wants to get the most darkest, most natural sister out there. He wants the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop. You must not be aware that when these white women get in the industry, they use black people's cadence or vernacular to transmit their messages and their thoughts. And in transcendence marketing, they are enticed by our spirit, our flow, our doctrine, and our community. So miss me again with the, black women want to look like them. I can list you way more things that women of the other race do to portray themselves as black women, to get black men like you who are so upset with them that it's a matter of time before you start dealing with the white woman. Because when you accredit her for being God, that's a damn disgrace. And I'm going to tell you, the name of the game is to get us so upset and infuriated with our own that we turn our backs on each other and beseech members of other races. And I will not do that under no circumstances. I will not do that under no other conditions because I know better. You see, when we talk about the black woman being God, you want to tell me nothing but negativity. And you tell me this is what you see. So I now have to ask you, where are you going during the day and where are you going during the evening to meet these black women that only reflect the worst that our community has to offer? Because I have some very great experiences with black women, but it's probably because my decision making varies from their decision because I see beautiful, amazing black women on a day-to-day basis. Now, my mind is saturated with a bunch of negativity about black women because we can do the same thing with black men if we chose.
10 minutes.
How it happens. We can see black men make more babies than they can afford. We can see black men engaged in a fratricidal war against each other, killing themselves. We can see black men constantly evading the responsibility to be fathers. I'm not saying all of them now, but if I wanted to play the game, I could start doing a long list, a shit list of what black men do, but I know better.
All right.
Wow, broke during my time, but I was accepted.
No, I stopped it, Polight. When you were talking, I stopped the clock. Minister Jap, it's on you, my brother. Your time to rebuttal. And remember, I'm going to give y'all 2 chances to speak with each other, to ask each other questions like we did with the other round. So go ahead, Brother Jap. We're going to have another round. I think we're going to have 3 rounds. This is the second round right here. Go ahead, Brother Jap.
All right. So again, what Polight is doing and what a lot of these dudes do, dealing with this black woman is God concept. Because it is a concept. And when I asked in the beginning, are we saying it literally, or are we saying it figuratively? We dance around and we get all this talking just to prove that this is just a figurative speech. This is not literal, because if it was literal, we would have requirements, we would have action, we would have a standard that we are to hold Black women to. If they are God, they would be required to do certain things, behave certain ways, create life in a certain fashion. I know it said that, okay, that's not a bad thing, creating babies, but creating babies with the worst men that you could possibly imagine under the confines of the worst environments possible, and doing it over and over again to be a part of a system which you don't control is not intelligent. So she's God, but her decision-making ability on what she chooses to do, because for the truth of the matter is, the Black woman is the head of the household in the Black community. That's fact. So if we look at the spirits of the Black community, we would have to hold God accountable if you say God. But when you want to diminish the term God and the role of God just to fit the narrative of what a Black woman's ability could be, she could never be what God is in other people's eyes. So it only will create confusion if you call her God. Just call her great. Just call her something else. Don't call her a queen when she doesn't rule anything. Don't call her a God when she only got power over bullshit. If she truly had power, we wouldn't be in the position that we are in as people. Responsibility. She has a stream of responsibility and a power within her womb. She is producing our murderers, our killers, our strippers, all our worst people, and they're coming up under her guidance. You spoke about how wise she is with her decision-making abilities and things of that nature. And the reality of it is that we're not seeing that in the world. This is not on display for the world. So now that we made this clear, the way you see God and the way everybody else will see God is totally different, because there's no rules and no guidelines, and there's no standard that I can hold us to. I hold Black women to a higher standard because, for the most part, when I talk to Black people, y'all tend to say Black women is the most intelligent, the best woman on earth. So I will hold her to a higher standard than any other woman on earth. So no other woman will get a pass. I'm sorry, she gets no pass, but any other woman I can give a shit about. If other women out here having threesomes and doing all this bullshit and having kids and out of wedlock and having abortions and giving their kids away, I could care less about it, because the Black woman has a standard that's this high. She's God. Now, God, for most of these people in the audience, is that somebody a man would look to guidance, worship, pretty much to a deity. That's not the case in this matter. If the Black woman was God, why does she have to find out from scholars such as yourself, other scholars? I forgot all the names, but that's why Quasis and all that. Listen, they had to be told this. They didn't know this. So the God is not all known. The term God is just being diminished when you keep putting it on the woman. Now, you mentioned money is your religion, and the woman is God. So who and what does she believe in? And when I see a lot of you brothers who are great speakers, wizards with words, these women tend to flock to you. And you, truthfully, are they mind, soul, spirit. You are their God, because they are controlled by what you have been telling them. And you tell them that they are God, in my opinion, would be as a steam booster. Just the same way as calling a woman a queen. I would never call a black woman a queen in the situation that most of our people in. Now, there are good black women who are doing great in life. But and you mentioned, you know, maybe it's my circumstance or whatever. I've dated and been around women in the corporate world, politician women, all types of women who still are susceptible to doing hood rat shit. And they still don't harness this power of God. We never really got into what are we expecting from God. And a lot of these scholars, they will debate whether God exists or not. God, is God going to come back and save us? If the God that you read in the Bible or in the Quran is so great, then why were you getting your ass whooped by the slave master? Why were you doing this and this? They can have that mindset and expectation for that type of God, but then they diminish the expectation of the black woman being God, saying she don't have to be our savior. She don't gotta save us from the white man's construct. She don't gotta. She's right there. This is who you told me was God, and I don't have the ability to ask her why the hell you got us in this condition. You're God. What can you do to get us out of it? And she's walking around like a chicken with her head cut off, running into walls, not knowing anything, and she's not a leader. So to call her God as a man is ridiculous. I'll stop this.
You still got another minute, Jack.
Here you go.
That's good. We don't need it.
All right, Brother Polight.
Hey, come on, we're gonna go forward. So this is what I want to make clear to everybody. I'll make this very clear. I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna do this again very slowly. God, okay, superhuman being or spirit worshipers having power over nature or human fortunes, the deity, an image, idol, an animal, used, okay, as a conventional personification of faith, okay, the thing according to the supreme importance or appropriate to a God, one who's adored, admired, or influential. These are several different terms. Okay? It's very interesting because he would never be able to bring his God to the forefront. Okay? He would never be able to do it because that God doesn't exist. Let's just keep it a buck, people. It's all speculation.
The God that does exist. We got a God that does exist right now, though.
Okay, so
let's examine her. Let's examine that God that's right now in the flesh. No spook God. I get you. But I talk about the spook God aspect of it. We know how people think when you hear God. So let's not talk about the spook God. Some people.
All right, Brother Jack. Jack, you got to let him speak on his time, brother.
No, I don't mind because this is why.
Nah, not yet. Y'all gonna go back and forth. I think after this round, Brother Polight, your time starts. Your time starts now, Polight.
I don't mind. This is the exact reason why I wouldn't appoint the man to God. We're lacking the discipline in this hour when we're having a conversation about things that's important to us. All right? And then we will accredit women for doing this. We'll say that, oh man, they lack discipline. They'll cut each other off and they'll cut you off in conversations. So what I want to do is get to this point right here. I preface my statement by saying that God is anyone in control of a specific aspect of creation. One of the Merriam-Webster dictionary definitions. So I am talking about exclusivity through the gender. And I gave some examples. The corruption fluid. The fact that women have nipples that they can use and men's are rudimentary. The fact that I didn't say, oh, she's smarter than everybody. I said that we get our cognitive abilities from the woman, particularly chromosome 9. I gave a reference with it. So this is gender specification. This is gender exclusivity. Because when we look at his conversation, we can easily say it can fall on the other side of the fence. Unlike, I am showing you exclusivity to the woman, her brain being more symmetrical, the X chromosome being 2.8% more genetic material. You see, I give valid points for my argument. I've heard one thing that he has asserted that is exclusive to men that will render him of such prestige that our community to adore or worship him as acknowledgement in order to empower our community or whatever means the culture may suggest, which would be the religion. Everything he says can be accredited to the other gender or is cheered. So she's picking the wrong man, right? The man is the wrong person. Why is the man not a better person for her? Watch this. He says that she has to save us from the white man construct. Well, we can easily say the black man's job is to save her from the white man's construct. I don't know why a black man would even propose something like this. Why would the black man? Hold on. Why wouldn't the black man? Well, again, let me state it again. I'm gonna do it one more time. Only one more time. Based on the definition of God that I put forth in its colloquial meaning, it means that we can identify gender specificity or gender exclusivity. That which is inclusive to that gender in particular, which in this case would be the woman. And so my argument isn't comprised. His is because when he argues, when he puts forth his postulation, there's not one thing he says that cannot also be owned by the man. For example, she's picking the wrong man. We can say, why is man not a better man for her to pick? It's as though they're making babies by themselves when they're making them together. He's making more babies than she's supposed to make, right? But the man is working with her to make these babies, so he's also involved. There they go. Both of them, again, have fault in that, right? That's not something exclusive to neither one of the two. Okay, she has to save us from the white man's construct. The black man should also be part of the saving from the white man's construct. So nobody owns that exclusively either. Watch this. She's giving birth to the gangsters. That's coming from the man's semen as well. They share in that outcome. What I'm speaking about, when I talk about worship, praise, and adoration, what I'm talking about is that this woman being subject to brothers walking down on her, knowing that those emotions transmigrate into the bloodstream and into the psychology of the child. And we don't provide more conducive environments for that child. Not only is she subject to it, but the child's subject to it. So much so that if she has to endure a certain amount of stress, it can terminate the child. The man does not hold that responsibility. So as a black man, it is incumbent that I create enough of a powerful and conducive environment for the thriving when she's conceiving, with the understanding that her environment impacts not just her, but our future community. Because like Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you raise a man, you raise an individual, you raise a woman, you raise a nation. You know this, brother, because you come from that school of thought. Don't turn around before you keep this. Don't go renegade on everything now. You don't gotta believe in Yakub now. You ain't gotta believe in an arm leg, arm head. You ain't gotta believe in the black germ, the brown germ, and the white germ. But brother, don't you turn your back on that statement from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You raise a man, you raise an individual, you raise a woman, you raise a nation. And so we understand that a woman is born with all the potential babies she will ever have in her ovary cells. From the time she's born, her future children are vulnerable and susceptible to everything that transpires by way of what they call epigenetics. And that is exclusive to her. Exclusive to her. Scientific fact. So as a black man, I now have to think she's truly significant if I give a damn about the future of my posterity. If I care about my future son, if I care about my future daughter, I have to damn near slave for this black woman, whether I like it or not. Because that's what a real man would do, understanding how much is on the line. How much is on the line here? Okay? That's what I'm talking to you about. I'm not on no spooky stuff. But why don't she just win slavery for us? You see, you're asking shit of the black woman. Hold on. We need to ask. Hold on, bro. You're asking the black woman to do something you never had the balls to actually spook up. Let me show you this. He said, hold on, let me show you this. He said, so the black woman is God, then who does she worship? Now, watch this. Have you ever heard someone ask, who does their God worship? Think about the logic in this. Hold on. Think about the logic. No one ever asks Allah, who does Allah worship? No one ever asks Jehovah, who does Jehovah worship? I say the black woman's my God. Who does he worship? My nigga, she's God. Who else?
She's not saying that, my brother. Bro, he's not saying that. The only time.
Hold on, bro. Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it.
Hold up. He only got a minute left, Jack. You gonna go in.
Don't worry about it. You'll be all right. I know you are. I'm lying. But don't worry about it still. What I'm saying is this. You say that she truly has power. And that wasn't even the argument. Because you're still in that religious spooky mind about what God means. So again, I haven't heard one thing that you postulated that's exclusive to women. Because if women are making bad decisions, men are making bad decisions. If women are making children under horrid conditions, men are making children under horrid conditions. The things that I adore her for, worship her for, and acknowledge her for is those things that's exclusive to her. And it is respect and respect only that tells me I need to obligate myself to her more. I have to do that, especially knowing that she is not vulnerable, susceptible to things that transpire outside of her. But our future community is. So what kind of man understanding this will make life more difficult for this black woman that he's supposed to beware or befriend?
So Polight. Now, before you come on, Jack. Now, Polight. Even when you see that black woman sliding up and down that pole, Polight, even when you see the sister twerking on videos and making you pay for super chat and all this stuff to see her, what do you say to that, brother? What do you say to that? Is that black woman God as well, brother?
Hell yeah.
Explain why.
She's not. Let me explain something to you. If when you was born, no matter what you do for the rest of your life, do you remain the black man that you are no matter what?
Yes.
So this God is her.
But then again, let me catch myself. No.
Okay, you're not a black man.
No, you said no matter what. You said no matter what. And I said, no, that's not the case.
Under what condition are you not a black man in this lifetime?
Well, if you allow someone to kill your family and you do nothing about it, you can't be no black man. If you standing right there.
I'm not doing it.
Okay. So let Polight go, Minister Jap. I'm gonna come to you.
I'm not gonna all of a sudden get to the libo and shit because I let somebody die. I'm not.
Go ahead, Polight. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is this: you are not gonna become melanin recessive the second you make a decision that the rest of your community don't like. You're going to remain a black man. You have the melanocytes that stipulate something. So in the same manner, he is who he is, despite whatever decision she makes, because everything that I have mentioned does not change her those circumstances. Now, I'm not saying I condone everything she does, but I also have to be respectful enough as a man to allow a woman to do what she feels is suffice to do with and for her body, whether I agree with it or not, because it's her body. Let's just keep that 100.
All right.
Hold on. One last thing. Two. Everything that I mentioned, why I identify her as God, never changed when she twerked. It never changed when she went up and down the pole. Just like your race ain't changed. Her race ain't changed when she went up and down that pole. No more than the fact that she has the colostrum fluid. No more than the fact that she holds 2.8% more genetic material than the male. No more than the fact of any of the other things that I put forth before you, which will go undisputed, irreconcilable, because you can't do nothing about it. She is who she is every day of the week, whether you like the decisions she makes or not. So what we need to do is find a way.
All right, Brother Polight. Minister Jap is on you, brother, but I want to ask you this question and then you can go on. Minister Jap, you said you will never call a black woman a queen. Do you have this same attitude when it comes to your mother, your daughter, your aunt, maybe your sister? Is that same attitude you have toward them, my brother?
Yes.
That you don't see moms or your daughter or your sisters a queen or nothing like that?
No, they're not queens. They're black women. They're good women. They're good people. They're not queens. They don't rule anything. They report to work like anybody else. You know what I mean? They might rule the household.
Have you ever referred to the Queen of England as the Queen of England?
I typically don't care about her. But she's the queen of England.
Hey, brother. It's on you, Jack. You got the floor,
I
brother.
believe it to be so. I don't believe it to be so. I'm not going to be ruled by no woman. I'm not going to submit to no woman. And I'm not going to call a woman a queen, but we're not in that type of construct.
All right, the clock is starting now, brother. You got the floor.
Okay, so we doing 8 minutes thing again?
Yes. And then I'm going to let y'all two talk to each other.
I thought we were, it's like a time we did this.
Oh, so you ready to talk then? What you want to do, brother? What you want to do?
Let's get it in because I be lose when he says something, I be ready to stop.
Okay, so y'all two brothers get it in and talk, but we ain't gonna over talk. Go ahead, y'all got it.
So we start dancing around one for to get their point.
All right, go ahead, brother.
I understand what Polight has done. He's educated me today. He's educated me on a lot of things in the conscious community on how y'all use words. I get it now. The God word is minute now. It's not what I thought it was. It's not magnificent. She is God of our gender. I'm the type of person, when you tell me God, I'm thinking I am a creation that has the ability to create. But this whole construct, from the ecosystem to the winds, the mountains, the sun, the universe, and how everything orbits around, I'm thinking when you say God created that. That's most people's definition. If you're going to deal with the black God concept, then you're just saying, I am a black man and that woman rules me. And you have to basically accept that and tell her that, because there's a good chance she don't know that shit until you tell her that she's your God. And when you tell her she's your God, more than likely you got it. So we had to diminish the term of God to only be powerful and create on a lower level and not on a bigger level. The same way we had the power to destroy. Yes, you can build and destroy. You can build and destroy small things. You can build and destroy big things. Having power. You say the woman, I said that the woman doesn't have power, they don't even destroy the family. When I was saying power, I was using power like how I talk about God, not how you talk about God. You would talk about power in the sense that, well, she has the power to destroy families and shit like that. When I say power, I'm saying she has the power to rule the earth. So it's two different ways to use these definitions. You're using the definition in its most minute form and giving it to the worst woman walking. All right, I get that. You know what I mean? So that's what I gathered from that. And if we're going to have a debate of black woman's God, yes, she can be your God, but she's a goddamn fool to me because I don't submit to her. She has no power until she calls someone more powerful than both of us, the white man. And that's when I get railroaded. You know what I mean? And the white man is scared of a fucking white woman. So you don't have these stupid ass arguments within the white community on who their God is and shit like that. They don't get into it. And you never ever call a woman God. They simps. They the first original simps. But this rhetoric of calling a black woman God and not checking up for her shit, not making her submit to you, and giving her this fake form of confidence is dangerous. She's not living up to the responsibility of what God is. And if you tell people that God don't have to do all that, then fine. The black woman fits the description. She don't have to do shit, just be black. Just be black and be fertile. And you are God. And that's what we're preaching to these women. And all it does is enable them to be better failures.
Minister Jap. Minister Jap, do you think...
Then they would get on their shit. They not gods until y'all tell them. Go ahead, bro.
Minister Jap, do you think brothers are saying this just so they could get between their legs or something like that? Or just try to get more women? Because I see that all the time where people say, man, y'all just saying that so you could get women and so you could, you know. Do you subscribe to that, brother?
This is the thing. I don't want to sound like a player here or nothing like this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm all for black men getting women. You know what I mean? Get you some good ones. Get you some money. I never want to say anything to discourage that. I think that we should live like kings. And every king had money and women. That's the life. I'm not knocking that at all. But I'm not finna sit here and call her God like just to get into her bed, because I know that if I did that, I know if I did that right now, if I changed my rhetoric, I could get any woman I want because they are looking for leadership, guidance, and they are glued to the words of man, and they are only as good as what we impute in them. So if I'm imputing in her that she's God, I'm putting this information into her that she's God. I got her. And I speak to a lot of brothers. I've seen it countless times. Even when I was doing the spoken word thing, it was a fuck fest. It was really a fuck fest. A bunch of
Let's try to be careful on the language, brother, so we don't get on.
It was a lot of that going on. It was kings and queens, gods and goddesses. You know what I'm saying? I shade all of this, you know, and that was the way that you got in there. They were smoking blunts and drinking Henny like anybody else. You know what I mean? So it is easy because she's looking for leadership. When a lot of times, the black woman gets into this black woman is God, this Egyptology thing. When she gives up on the church and she, you know, when she fails at that, she'll go into this construct, get around a lot of brothers, hitting them with that jail knowledge, talking that fast talk, you know, and next thing you know, draws is pulled off. Single motherhood has begun. But it would happen in a conscious way. You know what I mean? Like with the conscious community, you're able to explain ratchet things in an eloquent way to where it's not looked at as bad. Instead of saying I have baby mamas, I can say I have a multitude of wives, or I can have children, or I'm building a dynasty. You can do that as long as you can articulate it right. So that's what we're doing. What we're doing right now with this calling a black woman God is articulating her ratchetness and holding her to no standard whatsoever because she's God and she has no responsibility. And when it comes time for responsibility, then we pull the man in and say, well, you have an equal responsibility too because you created babies too and you did this and you were supposed to be there too. So I can say the same thing for the man. But when you call her God, I can't say nothing about a man. She is God. He is to blame for all failures at this point. Don't call her God if she can't take all of the blame for failure.
Okay, let me interject, my brother, respectfully. So one, you opened up saying she is God over our gender. I do not have the same gender as she, so I believe that probably was an error. Along with many.
Okay, go ahead. But you know what I mean? Not just
I got you understand. I believe it's one of many errors that I've heard for tonight. I just chalk it up for another one. All right. So Christians don't believe in the same God no more than Muslims do, no more than Jews do, no more than the rest of the other religions do. But for some reason, it's hard to accept me identifying the black woman as God. But each one of these religions have a different God. And in these religions, their God be telling people, don't mess with the other one God. But you don't have a problem with that. You have a problem with me saying the black woman is God and saying, don't call her God if this. No, but everybody has their own rendering, their own criteria for God. Everybody else has their own criteria for God. And you're not complaining about that except me right now. So, for the black conscious community, the members who do identify her as God, we'll move forward. Your God has the power to move earth, according to you. And I don't know if that do no more than you do. This is just, now that's going to take me to the next thing. You said I would have to teach the black woman that she's God. What is the difference from anybody else who knows about God? They ain't get a baby on planet Earth that had the Bible, the Quran, or Torah embedded into their psychology. Everyone was taught about God. So that point is moot.
Hold on.
Because if you're telling me, hold on, if you're telling me I gotta teach the woman that she's God, like that's a point. My man, didn't nobody know nothing about no God.
You're not teaching a woman that she's God. You're not teaching a woman that she's God. You're teaching God that they're God.
Incorrect. I'll do this again.
Your God that she's your God.
Incorrect. I never suggested none of this the whole trip. I said she remains God no matter what decision she makes, no matter what the circumstances are, because I'm speaking about that which is exclusive to her gender. I identify her as the progenitor of society. I see her as the founder of all humanity. That in itself accredits her the godship that she's due and deserves. I don't believe man was first. I just don't believe it. Okay? I see the black woman as the progenitor of society. So, if not for nothing else, she would be the God of all of humanity in that regard. Now, I don't know if you got a problem with that too. And I ain't even concerned about it after all the negative things you said about the black woman, because you got the right to your religion, move the whole earth at will. So he can't stop praying, he can't stop police brutality. See, my God, I don't say my God can do those things. I don't say my God can create the sun, moon, and stars. I don't say my God can control the spin of the planet Earth. I say he's my God because he's the progenitor of society, and she has innate abilities, dormant abilities, and abilities that we have bear witness to that's exclusive to her, that has me in awe, that is worthy of admiration, adoration, and worship, and a great deal of respect. I'm very clear about my point, and this doesn't take away nothing from me being a black man. It doesn't make me insecure in the least. I just know I have a responsibility to enter in ways that will improve our race and be of huge benefit to our children.
When you're dealing with God, why do you have to protect God?
Protect God, because I'm not coming from your religious state. Again, Muslims have their own God. Christians have their own God. Jews have their own God. I got my own God. You got your own God. Get that through.
So
everybody
we're loosely throwing out the term.
Hold on. You're asking me to have
been used loosely.
For critics.
I'm sorry?
Do you see that? You're asking me to have this same rationale about God that you had and put it into the machine and get the same output. It's not going to happen.
You have to know that God has power. It triggered over probably 1,000 people to come in this chat room right now. God, the word of God it triggers a lot of people. It starts war, starts debate, starts conversation. You're telling me woman is God, and I'm asking, besides birth, what is her power? When we talk about God, these religions have a creation story, or how the earth was created.
If you need a creation story for the black woman,
for creating the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars. You're not going to take that title and put on Keisha from 84th and East End.
Okay, now stop. You're being sensational because ain't nobody was using the word God during the inception of any of the three major monotheistic religions. So let's stop it. No one used that word. It's a new term, brother. Stop it. That's why I went to the colloquial meaning of the word. Let's stop that.
You were the term of God. The way that you say God, used it to a woman and you put no criteria on. Just be black and fertile. Just be black and fertile. I mean, what does she have to do?
I didn't say that. I made it clear that it's the gender exclusive qualities that she has that impacts us in our community that renders her a God. It's the fact that she's the progenitor of all humanity, as far as I see, as far as science is concerned, that renders her a God. It's the fact that we get our cognitive abilities from her and not the man. It is the fact that her brain is more symmetrical and not the man. It's the fact that her chromosomes is 2.8% more genetic material, not the man. It's the fact that she call her a man. It's the fact that you have to cut me off while I'm in that explanation of it, because I got a long list of things that make her exclusive.
She's just a woman.
Women just the woman. except for the ones that are hermaphrodites.
All right, let me ask you, Brother Minister Jap. Minister Jap, do you believe in God? And if so, what is the name of the God you believe in?
I believe in God. I'd rather not really dwell into that because, you know what I'm saying, I got too much going on. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it.
When I say religion, that's what I would worship.
Worship.
Say it again. It blocked out. I'm listening.
Your religion would be worship.
My religion would be what I worship.
Yeah. What you worship?
The item of worship is a component of my religion as in the case of other people.
So the woman is an item of your worship?
Yes, it's religion is a particular system of faith and worship. I worship the black woman. I have my faith.
Okay, so your religion is money.
This is correct.
So is the black woman money?
Oh, she's very valuable. And let me give you the definition of money because people only think about dollars. Hold on.
No, we don't. Now we got it.
Hold on. I gotta give you the definition of money so you know where I'm coming from. I'm not making this up. Money, this is from my hold on. Money as conveyed by the dictionary application of my Apple computer.
We're Rand Diversified. Through our different funds, we built a $100 million real estate investment portfolio.
Right here, so if you got Apple, you pull it up.
Yeah.
Definitely. The assets, property, and resources owned by someone or something. Financial gain, a wealthy person or group, a current medium of exchange in the form of coins, banknotes, collectively. So there's several different things. I see her as an asset.
Okay, so hold on. In that definition,
Go ahead.
the way it's written, money can be owned.
Yes. One of the definitions. Go ahead.
So if money is the religion,
Yes.
who usurps that to where they can own the religion?
Who owns the religion? The religion is
money. If you own money, you own the religion.
Hold on, brother. The religion is practiced by the people. The black woman is considered an asset, so she does have worth. However, money in general will be separate and different from the system. Money is what we're using to Money is what we're using to facilitate our worship properly because we realize we're growing up impoverished and that is causing a lot of destruction in our community. It's causing relationships. It's hindering us relationship-wise. It's hindering us as individuals. And anytime people are lacking the educational tools and resources, you see the worst come out of them. Men and women alike.
So is the money greater than the woman?
No, the money's not greater than the woman. But the woman...
You froze up. I can't.
You froze up, Brother Polight.
He froze up. I can't.
Yeah, he gonna come back. He gonna realize he's off. Okay, you could be talking, Jap, while he coming in.
No,
You could be
what I want to
dropping your
know
point.
is if money is your religion and you believe in money, and most people who have a religion, they will die and do anything for it. Is he then saying, I will do anything for my religion? There's no limit. This is what I believe in. I will do anything. There is nothing I will not do. And when you say religion to people, when we use that word, that's what comes in the minds of people. I will do anything. I will strap a bomb on my chest.
I'm back. Hold on. Hey, brother. Let me answer.
So my religion is...
Brother, let me answer where I got froze at. You asked me if the money is worth more than the woman. Let me make an analogy. In the religious paradigm, sometimes you have candles. That's part of the ritual or the facilitation of worshiping their God. You have prayer rugs. You have oils. You have incense. No one ever asks if the damn prayer rugs or oils or the incense are worth more than Allah that they worship in, or worth more than God or Jesus that they worship in. Only when the black woman is involved, this stuff becomes nonsensical, the points that we drive home. You're asking me if the prayer rug is worth more than the woman. You're asking me if the cat is worth more than the woman.
Like,
money is being
used. I want to stick to God. I want to stick to black woman as God. I don't want to stick to money. Is your religion? I want to stick to that because
you're asking me a question.
You're saying if a black woman brings the black woman generates money.
Brother, listen to me carefully. It's me that got the religion. So let me answer you. It's me that got the religion. Don't tell me how the religion works. I'll tell you how it works. And you just don't work. All right, now let me do it this way. Watch this. It's very simple. We're using the money to facilitate our worship. So what we need to do as black men, either employ group economics or practice the religion. You see how people practice religion and remain broke? When you practice the religion of money and you study the language of money, like maybe Administrative Affidavits and Specific Negative Reverence and Opportunity to Kill Counterclaim and Admiralty, maybe mortgage hypothecation and subprime, maybe understand credit card redlining, and we start studying the Standard & Poor's Index, piece of Kiplinger magazines and Barron, maybe we study the language. Because you know where it cripples many people that are black when they join religions, they don't learn the language of that religion. So in our religion of money, when you study the principal aspects of assets, asset protection, ownership, property ownership, let me be more clear. When you study these things, it empowers you as a man in particular to be able to properly facilitate worship for the woman. What does worship mean? To hold in high admiration, adoration, or a high respect. So I respect. Hold on. I got you. I respect the black woman so much. I'm gonna take the time out to practice this religion that is attributed to money, so I can properly facilitate my worship by providing her asset protection and wealth. Hold on, wealth stewardship. This is not just wealth in the now, but generational wealth. If black people, I got you, brother. If black people study their economics more than they